What's up, y'all? Know y'all looking crazy. Like, man, what's up with this dude's look? Got the beard no more. Had to shave it off for the job, baby. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. When they tell you that you gotta shave this off or you gotta change your image or whatever you gotta do, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, man. But anyway, man, that's enough of that. This is about boxing. Robert Guerrero versus Peralta. Pretty decent fight, man. I wasn't even gonna cover this. My brother hit me up and asked me, was I watching the fight? I wasn't gonna even give it a look, to be honest with you. I'm like that sometimes, man. I catch a lot of boxing, but sometimes with certain matchups, I'm just like, man, what the hell for? I don't want to catch that fight. But it was good, man. It wasn't a technical fight. It wasn't, much skill involved in it. But as far as two guys giving it what they had and going the full 12 rounds, I didn't think it was going to go 12. I thought Robert was going to, press the action and possibly get the knockout between 7 or 8, and he showed signs of that around that time. And as the fight progressed, stretched out a little bit, Peralta started stepping his game up and he started landing his right, because in the first half of the fight, Robert Guerrero neutralized his Peralta's right hand when he was throwing the jab. Whenever he would let that right hand go, Robert was coming over the top, or he went straight down the pipe, or he was throwing the hook, and it was connecting. Earlier in the fight, it was quick, it was strong, so Peralta didn't feel confident in letting his right hand go throughout the fight. So he had to succumb to a different game plan, which I didn't really like, because he was. It wasn't the fact that he was moving around, because I like boxers that's on their toes, but the way he was on his toes, it was just weird. Like, he didn't push off his back foot to move forward, to bring the force behind his punches. Once he connected, if he would have did that, he would have been able to push Robert back, and that would have possibly given him a knockout, which he did. He wobbled Robert, and he also nearly knocked him down in the fight. So Robert, man, he was supposed to be one of the top level welterweight guys moving up in the division. You know, especially after the Floyd fight, he was seen as, one of the top guys in the division, but he has gone down dramatically ever since that fight, actually. He's been having a pretty hard time, and everybody's kind of looking at him like, he's just the guy that you call if you want a different look, or you want a name on your resume now. It's okay to call Robert. He's a tough guy. He's going to give you a fight. He's going to bring it. So it's just one of those things. Like, yeah, he can possibly knock you out, so that's what people are going to remember about him, is that he was a pretty tough character in the ring, but other than that, I mean, he doesn't bring anything. He doesn't give any different looks in the ring. He's pretty straight up and down, like Floyd says these guys are, kind of straight up and downish. No special effects, nothing about him sticks out. He's gonna throw his jab a little bit, but we all know that he's gonna throw power shots, mostly hooks, uppercuts, whatever he can land 9 times out of 10, most times. He tries to counter, but when you start talking about the special effects, I mean, his footwork is bad. He doesn't move his head. He don't slip punches well. He blocks from time to time, but, after a while, he starts, getting tired. His hands start going down, and he starts taking shots to the head a lot more, So this guy was able to get to him, Peralta, He was able to get to him, man. I would say after the 7th round, he really started stepping his game up a lot. He started landing flush, too, like straight down the pipe, man. With the right, he was throwing 1-2s. He was connecting. He was moving around on his toes. He was bouncing around a lot, and that kind of that kind of threw Guerrero off a little bit because he wouldn't allow the fight to go to the ropes. He was always in the middle of the ring. And guys that fight with a lot of power shots like that, like Robert Guerrero, they kind of like to get you in a position of where they can land all of their shots at once, you know. So they kind of like to get you up against the ropes or in the corner somewhere, or try to get you to exchange with them as much as possible. But this guy he was fighting at a distance for the most part. And once they got inside, Robert was trying to rough him up a little bit earlier in the fight, and it worked for a little while. But this guy was conditioned, man. He was ready to go, and he ended up pulling the victory out. I had him ahead by like maybe three or four rounds. You know, after I would say after about the seventh round or so. You know, I started scoring the fight a little differently because Robert wasn't busy, man. He wasn't doing what he needed to do to close the fight, close it out. He had it, you know, he could have pulled it off, but he just wasn't doing enough. So this guy he earlier on in the fight, Peralta was like he reminded me of the guy in Rocky, man. When Rocky first came back and Rocky won for training. He came back for training. That guy that was sparring him, if you guys go back and watch it, that guy that was sparring with him, he was giving Rocky hell, man. He was moving all around him, going inside out. Mick was trying to tell him, hey, man, you know, you need to get in there and get this punk, catch this punk. You know, basically neutralize the speed, but he couldn't catch the dude. The dude was moving all in and out, you know, going all around him, pushing him in the back, all kinds of stuff. And Rock couldn't catch him, man. He just gave up. And that's pretty much what Robert was looking like tonight, man. Like, he was looking like, you know, and honestly, I mean, I watched Angulo too, man. And it's time to give him his cowboy hat and horse, man. It's really time. Every time I say that, that means it's time for him to ride off into the sunset. It's over, you know, and Robert is close to that too, man. It's time for him to act like a real ghost, you know, and disappear, bro. Like, you're not going to be able to stick around in this sport and get away with that style of fighting. These guys are becoming a lot more athletic. They're becoming more in tune, you know, with their gifts and what they can bring to the sport now. And you're not going to be able to get away with fighting straight up and down like that no more. Unless, I mean, that's what you want to do. You want to fight in Mexico or something like that. You know, keep fighting bums. But, you know, as you get to the top level, man, you're going to have to move around. You got to do some of the stuff you don't like to do. And tonight, it just didn't work to his benefit, man. And this guy outboxed him in the later rounds. And he allowed his conditioning to get to him. So if you guys didn't see the fight, man, I'm just offering you a little bit about the fight. I'm not expecting many views off of this. Like I say before, like I say in all of my videos, I like to keep these at 8 minutes. I'm a little over already, man, but hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. And don't talk about me too bad about my beard, man. I already had enough of that today. All right, man. Peace.